Wow, welcome back. Good to be on your screen right now. I'm still your host, Nwaobia Ezechimere. Today we will be having a live podcast and bordering on real life issues. And I will be hosting two important guests on today's podcast. And these important guests, their life stories are inspiring. They have also inspired me in their different ways. I will be unveiling the first guest on this show. Definitely, you are going to get value for your time. And my first guest I'm introducing by my right is the person of Mr. Emeka Chukwura, right?
Yes.
And then next to him is a man of many characters and degrees. Our viewers and listeners, your story.
Okay.
So I know a journey of 1,000 miles, they say always begin with a step.
Yes.
So can you take us through those steps so that we can learn?
Yeah, okay. Like you've introduced me, my name is Emeka Chukwura. I'm from Imo State. I was born here in Lagos, schooled in Lagos, and attended university in the East, Imo State to be precise. So life, of course, it has its ups and downs, and I think I've seen both sides of life. You know, growing up, I grew up poor here in Lagos, and you know, I attended university. So after the university, I came back. I wanted to travel overseas and seek greener pastures. You know, I would apply for my visas, Malaysia, Dubai, the Netherlands, and I was getting refusals. I was always getting refusals. So, you know, I was actually, you know, down and out in life. Like I almost gave up. You know, as a matter of fact, I contemplated suicide because nothing was actually working for me at that time. So I had to borrow inspiration from somewhere, from anybody. And I looked around. I saw two of my childhood friends. You know, they're into the maritime industry. So I said to myself, if these guys can actually be flying high in this industry, I think, you know, I might want to give it a try. You know, so I would want to, you know, call their names, and them I looked up to that inspired me to, you know, venture into the maritime industry. So I met my friends, my dad's friend in Alaba market, and told him of my plans. You know, I wanted to go into freight forwarding. You know, so he called his agent and you know, handed me over to his agent to, you know, tutor me and you know, show me the road to follow. You know, since then, it has always been, you know, baby steps and all that. And like they say, the rest is history. So over time, you know, God has been faithful to me. You know, He has been faithful to me. You know, even I would also want to share that, you know, I was with my mom, you know, till about the age of 30. I was living with my mom, you know, and you know, it wasn't that easy. But I thank God today, you know, that the story has changed, and you know, everybody can smile now. Yeah, thank you.
Wow, beautiful, beautiful. You made mention of thinking of committing suicide.
Of course, yes.
What actually made you now to change your mind?
Like I said, I was down and out, you know, because I would say my dad's friends deserted, everybody deserted us, you know, so it was just, you know, my family against the world, you know, so everything I put my hands on at that time was not, you know, yielding fruits, you know, so it got to the point that I became frustrated. Like I said, I was down and out, completely down and out. So I gave myself an ultimatum that if I don't get it right, like if things don't out, well, I want to share to the audience that you need to have patience. It's very key. Patience is very, very key in all facets of life. You know, because if you don't have it, then you might be making mistakes. Yeah, so I contemplated suicide because at that time I was down and out completely.
Okay, what I want to draw out from here is that you gave yourself hope, as in, let me try one more time.
True.
Perhaps
True.
it will work.
Yes.
Okay, that was why you changed your mind.
And I had to draw inspiration from the names that I mentioned.
Okay.
Yes.
These your friends that you mentioned. Did they encourage you? Many a times, people think encouragement is in cash.
No.
They think encouragement is people giving you money, and then. But from my own little experience, now, when you observe that somebody has been able to achieve a particular level of success, the thing you should do, you should be motivated to know what the person did
to succeed,
and then find a way to replicate that same thing, and then you have that level of success, which you mentioned from your story, that you saw that they were thriving in the maritime industry.
Of course.
You now went to tell, you said your dad's friend.
My dad's friend.
And then he introduced you to somebody that taught you.
Yes.
That trained you.
Yes.
So training is necessary,
of course,
for success.
For development.
So after somebody has, changed his mind, let's say from committing suicide, now you want to become successful. You need to identify in what definite chief aim is always a key to success. Ability to know you want to succeed in what you were definite. You saw some people succeeded in maritime industry. You now said, okay, I'll go and try my best in the maritime industry. And then in the course of now wanting to do that, you've set a goal for yourself. Now, what do I need in order to thrive in this place? You need training. You need the technical know-how. You approach somebody, not for money.
Not for money.
But for training.
But for training, yes.
Beautiful.
Of course.
Yes. And then it's important, we share these stories so that others will learn. Money doesn't make anybody better.
Yes.
What makes you better is the thoughts you have about yourself. Okay, I will still come back to you.
Okay.
Let me meet Chief Sir Patrick Anyanwu.
Yeah. Thank you. Once again, my name is Chief Patrick Anyanwu, KXL. Well, it's been good. Growing up, though my brother here, he said he started from a silver spoon, but mine wasn't anything to write home at all. I came to Lagos here, then my people, direct family, my mom, they were looking at me that I am still very, very tender. But she stood on her ground that no, that hence is still the same family who happens to be my mom's sister, that I have to go. No, I came down to Lagos and it wasn't rosy at all. Staying somewhere in Ajegule, But one thing I remove in me, one thing I remove from knowing something A plus B is low esteem. Low esteem. I keep telling myself that even if I'm from nowhere, I must be somewhere. From there, I went to my primary school, primary to secondary, then university was a tug of war. Who is there to train? Fine, I had my uncle then, but I just believe that this my uncle will, though he tried anyway, by being there as an inspiration, not to say, oh yeah, Patrick, go to university, I will do this or I will do that. No, but I look at him that he is a graduate and at the same time he is doing well. So I saw him as a model for me to aspire. So then I now got admission in Imo State University. After Imo State University, I came back to Lagos. Then from Lagos, it was really hell. But I kept advising myself that, see, Patrick, you will never go down. And then my first degree wasn't just, it was just there, like Pharaoh, let my people go. Also, when I started seeing things, I said, no, that's academic that I did not enjoy. I must now achieve it on my own. Before you could know it, I went for my second degree, 𝐂𝐓 University. Then after second degree, I did my PGD, same school. Then plus other certified courses that I acquired for myself. Then before my MBA. And so many things that I have, so many academic bases that I've acquired for myself. Just because I have that very mindset that of not wealth, honestly, not wealth at all, but the mindset of I must be highly educated. I must go to school. And I keep pushing myself. Till where I am today. And by the special grace of God, I am married with children. And at the same time, I believe that I see people who do tell me that, Mr. Patrick, you are my prayer point. I want both in the church, in the business arena, people, they kept telling me, young guys growing up, they see me as their role model, which I always advise. I always tell them that one thing you must remove from you is low esteem. If you can be able to remove low esteem and keep pushing yourself, definitely the sky is your limit and you will achieve it all.
Great story. So I'll pick one or two questions from your story. Like Mr. Meka mentioned, were there any point in your life that you had thought of suicide?
No, not at all. That's why I said I remove from day one. That of, when you talk of suicide, is when you have low esteem in you. But in me, I have always have this self-esteem. Yeah, no time for negative thoughts, because then negative things kept happening around me, but I always advise myself that no, I will never fall to this.
Okay. After your university education, which you mentioned, based on where you're coming from, it was not all that beautiful. That made you to go back to school, for your second degree, PGD, and now your MBA. How did you get a grant, to further your study from federal government, or did you win lottery? So how come?
No. Okay. Yeah. Then after my first degree, here coming back to, I did my NYC, then in Zamfara State. I pushed up to see if I can get a job down there in Zamfara State, but it wasn't coming. So I had to come down here. Then coming here, a young man who knows nobody, no assistant from anywhere. So I kept going, pushing up, meeting people, till there is this friend of mine and also a brother, we are from same community, by name Paulinus Onoha, Mr. Paulinus Onoha. In fact, he was with a logistics firm. So in that logistics firm of where he was working, there is this department, they always go to field. So he do push me to those of his colleagues that do go to field. He pushed me. Then from there, I started following up till something happened. From there, I came back again to Ajegunle. Then one street I was living, I met somebody, And by name, permit me to mention it. By name, Mr. Ezechimere, Jesse Nwaobia. You know, we met, and from there, believe you me, poverty became history.
All right, you know, there is a part of this your story. You know, I've listened to your story before.
Yeah.
Well, I'm asking so that people can be able to add one or two. You know, Emeka actually.
You know, I also wanted to come in, but I wanted you to finish.
You will come in. You'll
Okay,
come in.
okay.
You'll come in.
Okay.
Remember, you did. There was a time you did sales representative. Now,
So,
building material.
you know, that's what, you know, I tried to cut, and in fact, I did so many things, you know, trying
That didn't work.
That didn't
You know,
work. I said so
the
many.
The essence of this conversation,
Yeah.
you know, somebody might think you just did this and it worked.
No.
And then if they try one, it didn't work, they say they don't have luck. You understand?
I worked in, okay, at a time, I went back to my local government to work as PA to my local government chairman then. After then, I came back to Lagos again. I started work as an office assistant somewhere at 𝐻𝐓𝐇 Estate. Then from 𝐻𝐓𝐇 Estate, I did sales rep to one aluminium company. Then so many things. I was just do this one, climb to this one, anyone that comes in till I met. Okay, fine. There was at the same time, I also tried going abroad. Yeah, so many countries not forthcoming. I applied for even South Africa, Germany, which UK. No one was forthcoming. You know. But today, honestly, I don't think that there's any country I will apply that they will turn me down. Honestly.
Beautiful. You wanted to say something?
Okay, I just wanted to come in
Okay.
when he made mention of suicide and low self-worth.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think anybody that contemplates suicide has low self-worth. No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Mental health is a big deal.
Yeah.
It might not be a big deal in Africa here, but it's a big deal overseas. They don't joke with mental health. So are you trying, or would you say anybody that has mental health issues has low self-worth? I don't agree with that. So just my own opinion on when you said suicide. If you see people that contemplate suicide as people that have low self-worth, no. I want to put it to you that, you know, most people that commit suicide do not always have low self-worth. You know, people can go through a lot in life and decide to end it all. Like, it doesn't necessarily mean that they have low self-worth. Do you understand? It doesn't mean, because at that time I was basically trying. I've always been ambitious and courageous. I've always been ambitious and courageous. And prior to, you know, when I contemplated that thing, there was this place that I went to in Abuja. I went to see a minister. I will mention him, Dora Akunyele. You know, I was a nobody. I was like a random student. I walked into the minister's office to see her, and I saw her. I think in 2000 and I think 6 or so, 6 or 7, something like that. Hakim was the governor of Imo State that time. You know, so I would not say I had, if I had no self-esteem, I wouldn't have, you know, someone the courage to walk into a minister's office to see a minister without any appointment. You know, so what I'm trying to say is, you know, people go through a lot in life, and, you know, they've attempted so many things and didn't succeed and decide to end it all. You know, that's why overseas mental health is always a big issue. Depression is also a big issue. You understand? So I would want to disagree with your notion on, you know, people that contemplate suicide have low self-worth, and I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that.
Yeah. You, my brother, Mr. Emeka, you are right, because they said knowledge is personal. That is to what you understand. I only express my view, and at the same time I'm looking at it from the academic background perspective that, for people, it's good to always advise yourself positively. Always have a positive mind, no matter the challenges.
Yes.
Yeah, that is where I'm coming from.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. My intention is we will actually get to this area of low self-esteem and self-worth. Low self-esteem and self-worth. In your own word, what do you observe to be self-worth? And then,
I would want to have self-worth. It's just one word: confidence.
okay,
Or you believe in yourself. Most times you look at our backgrounds of where we come from and we feel inferior. We cannot express ourselves in the open, or when we, on where we're in a public forum, because of your background or your upbringing, you don't have that confidence to talk. So I want to attribute it to lack of confidence. Having low self-worth, lack of confidence, and not having that that ability or that aura to express yourself openly or freely.
okay, what do you think?
Yeah. Self-worth. Self-worth, you start from self-esteem. When you talk of self-esteem, you're talking of having this mindset, positive mindset of yourself to life. Then, and when you have it, then why that of self-worth is your happiness to life. You just, at a time in your life, you need to like what you are doing. You need to work on what you're doing, no matter where you found yourself. If you can be able to like yourself and like what you do for a living, honestly, you will go more. You will aspire more. You have to be confident in what you're doing to life for survival first. And like self-esteem, if let's say maybe you are in church, you have to live this life. You direct yourself. This is the way I should be doing. This is the way of life I need to live. People should know you by this way. Like something will happen and someone will come to tell you, no, someone will even object to that. No, Patrick cannot do such. Or Patrick, no, fine, I trust Patrick can do such. Then you now come up by self-worth to like, this is a personal self-worth now, is now your own personal understanding to yourself. Liking what you do as an individual,
Okay. Growing up, I have encountered people. Growing up, as a young chap, I encountered a lot of people that ended up, as a low lifer. Not because they were not intelligent, not because they didn't have promising future. Some of them were people that some of us loved, what they got. But along the line, in the course of their existence or in the course of their living, they began to live some kind of life, some lifestyle. And I believe what attributed to that kind of lifestyle was them not being completely happy or confident with who they truly are. For example, somebody feels that he's not tall enough, or his father didn't go to school enough, or the mother did not go to school enough, or the brothers or the relatives, they are not that rich enough. And because of that estimation of themselves, the rating they give themselves is based on what is happening around them, not based on who they are, but based on what is happening around them. Some of them ended up, some became cultists. Some not all. Some became cultists because they wanted to get some validation from people around them and then to use it to compensate or in a bit to hide that insecurity that they have inside of them. And then along the line, they didn't eventually achieve what they want to achieve. Eventually, they did not achieve what they should have achieved in life. Some, growing up, some left the city where we were born. I was born and raised in Port Harcourt. I don't know if you're getting me. I was born and raised in Port Harcourt. Now, these guys, on their own, they don't actually believe in who they are. You can also see it in the other way. Some ladies today go into prostitution, not because they wanted to be prostitutes. Many a times, they were even the ones that were much more, reserved. But because they didn't value themselves or they don't have that confidence within themselves, what they see other people do, they feel that they are less than those people. I remember, where guys will be talking. If you are the only guy that doesn't have girlfriend, it's like they will talk you down. And if you are not confident in yourself, you discover that you begin to play around that side of life. And you are not expert in it, you are not skilled in it. And then when you get into what you don't know, what you didn't prepare for, many a times you end up where you didn't expect to go. I'm just using that of relationship with maybe ladies to give an example. This is not what you plan to do, but because of what you feel about yourself or who you feel about yourself, now going to do what other people are doing that you did not plan. Some people have become, addicts, drug addicts today, because they just want to feel among. They flock with people that do drugs. They don't know anything about drugs. Drug is not good, no matter how you want to talk about it. It's not good. It was not their plan. But because, let them not call them a Jew guy. They say, whatever you do, I can do it. Maybe if you take so and so, I can take. Just to, I've seen some guys sit on the table and say, I will take like 20 bottles. This one say, I will take those kind of stuff. I believe what normally leads to all of those attitudes is low self-esteem. I don't know if you buy.
I buy some of what you said, but you are just citing an example.
Okay.
Most times, the reason why youths, indulge in those social vices, most times is, basically because of, I would say, their financial situations.
Okay.
Yes. I don't want to judge this time. I just want to put it that way, that most times why people indulge in all those social vices is because of their financial situations. If you talk about women prostituting, most of the times, it's not their intention to do such. But life also taught me that you might be in a position and where you can't get help from anywhere. So if any kind of opportunity presents itself, any desperate person would accept the opportunity. Same thing also applies to the men doing drugs. I want to give an instance. In Canada, let me make a reference. With Canada, my wife actually she's studying mental health. She's doing a postgraduate diploma in mental health. So most times I also interact. I also interact with her as regards to what she's studying, and she gave me an example. That most times, because in the streets of Toronto, you see so many destitutes, so many drug heads, and when I went to Canada, New Day, I was seeing so many drug heads on the streets. So she came back one day and said she had class, and they explained to them that most of the times those destitutes that are on the streets, must have, they don't become destitutes because they want to be a destitute. So let me give an example. Okay, they might be paying for their house on mortgage, and they couldn't meet up with with their payments and with their payment plans. So what happens is the bank, the lender, repossesses back the house, and they become astray, they go astray, and the only way a frustrated person can find solace is maybe by doing drugs or alcohol. So they end up becoming destitute on the street. So it goes round. You can pick an example from a good side and also from a bad side. Yeah, so that's what I want to put.
Okay, I wouldn't want us to leave the conversation at this point,
okay,
so that you don't look as though when somebody is frustrated,
yes,
you should find solace in
okay,
drug or
alcohol,
whatever. So
yes.
what do you think the person should do in order not to...
No, that's why, I don't know. Before this question, I want to come in.
Okay,
please.
Go ahead,
Please, Mr. Emeka, like I have always make these points from the beginning of this program, that a positive mind brings positive thinking
Results.
and thinking positive results.
Yes.
And I believe so much that it's just like there is this prime minister. There's this prime minister, I think he resigned because he was unable to pay his mortgage or so. I think, yeah, it's one of the prime minister I read of him. So my point I'm trying to make is, if as a growing up or present youth of this country, and if you can be able to cut your coats according to your size, like for instance, you talk of maybe people not meeting up. Is in the present society, our people, our youths these days, they tend to live above their means. Now, most, for instance, like where I come from, my village, you will see young boys. Thank God that federal government is coming on this. Throwing money here and there. Now, you will see somebody whose parents are there in the village, suffering, going from one farm to the other in order to feed the siblings. But you will see the young man going to birthday party, throwing money, living lavish life. Now, at long run, what will come of him when there is no proper planning is good we watch our back, where we are coming from. It will help us on where we are going. So if now, like peer mates, fine, I don't smoke. I have friends from day one that smokes. If, let's say, I join those people, maybe smoking, drinking, probably, believe you me, I will be cut off from my dream. So the best, I think, is, to what you're saying, living above your means. I think I will advise that is not ideal. If we can curb it, if we can stop it, definitely. Even those who are prostituting, my brother, there are so many ways there's so many things we can do. There's so many things. It's only like I look at people who do say there's no job in Nigeria, there's no this, there's no that. To the best of my knowledge, there's so many things that one can do.
Of course.
I could remember I hawk on the Lagos Island. I hawk, just to survive. So if our youths, our people can remove ego, and go tell yourself the bitter truth that from doing this or doing that, I will get to where I'm going. Definitely, it will be achieved. So the point, do you get the point?
It's very valid. Your point is very valid. It's also very valid because, like from what I said, you're trying to state the fact that most of the time, why they tend to be at that position of desperation is because of they live above their means.
Yeah, exactly.
So I understand what you're saying, but most of the time, still, it doesn't also apply to that particular direction. But it's a valid point.
So what do you think that people can do, in order not to get to this area of desperation?
I made a point. As regards to desperation, because anything I say, I say from a point of experience.
Okay.
You understand? Yes. Once upon a time, I was actually very desperate, to become successful. And what did I do?
Sorry, I tag your own desperation to be a positive desperation.
Of course, it's a positive one.
Yeah,
I wanted to be successful.
Let me.
Okay.
Sorry,
No,
let
you're
me.
free.
Okay,
You're
let me.
free.
Okay, let me take it from there. That
Okay.
can I say we have positive desperation and negative desperation?
Yes. 100%.
So watch
100%.
your line.
100%.
Okay.
100%.
Okay.
100%. The negative desperation would be, would be like our youths, wanting to.
No, sorry, before you get
Okay,
in,
okay.
there was something you mentioned. You talked about mortgage, people that are not like you
Yes,
gave a classical
I gave an example,
a classical
yes.
example, and then people living above their means. For example,
Yes.
there are standard procedure by which people should assess mortgage.
Of course.
You understand?
Yes.
At least you're earning,
Yes.
and then they do the projections, and then. But sometimes some people,
They might lose their jobs
okay,
in the process too.
they lost their job. Okay.
In the process too, and and maybe at the rate at which they got the mortgages, they got it at a very high rate, and of course maybe they found another job, but it's not as lucrative as the one that they lost, so they end up losing their apartments and going into depression. But what Patrick has also cited an example, the positive desperation, and the negative desperation. And I'd want to buy his own school of thought. Yes. Because can I also go to
No,
the negative desperation? You see, social media. I'm not a fan of social media. As a matter of fact, I don't like it. I don't like social media. If you go to my Facebook, I don't have a picture on Facebook. On WhatsApp, I don't have a picture on WhatsApp, and I actually don't post my families on their birthdays and whatnot. I actually don't like social media, and I see it as a tool that not necessarily I don't think anything can influence me, but I see social media influencing millions of youths, making them do things, that ordinarily when I was 20 years old, I wasn't even thinking. I was even when I was 17 years old, we were writing jam at 16, 17. But you see a 16, 17-year-old boy, he wants to be like Elon Musk, or he wants to be like you or Mr. Patrick. You understand what I'm saying? So, it has this negative influence on I would say the Gen Zs. It has so much it has so much disadvantage than that the advantage side of it. So social media plays a role too in negative desperation. Youth wanting to succeed or be like Obi Kubana or be like our elites, without paying the price and walking down the ropes.
Social media.
Yes.
Social media and that of social media, I will also say bringing the parents in here.
Okay.
Honestly, presently, parents, they are, is it because of hustling, trying to put food on the table, they now look away from what as in from their major responsibility in the society or in the family. Honestly, parents, they are supposed to come in, know what your daughter is always doing, know what, because one, like the kind of life that children live in school is far different from the kind of life they live here. Yeah. In one of the church program in my church, one priest who happens to be a lecturer from University of Ibadan, he came to give us talk, and in one of he said, parents, there is no how that parents will always go through your daughter's phone, go through your children's son's phone, find out, you will definitely know one or two things, and you ask questions. You find out, as in, if the person is not giving you concrete reason why this or why that, you now come in there, instill fear. in your child, so that, because this social media virus, believe you me, is fine. It's from the peer, and at the same time, parents are not doing what they are supposed to do in order to curb it. At least, fine. It will be difficult. It will be difficult to erase finally, but at least if the parents comes in very well
To checkmate what they do.
checkmate, definitely this social virus will be declined.
So if a parent itself is a freak of social media, how will the person be able to control it? Because hold on, because there are some people, what rules in their house is what they see in social media. You understand? And not knowing that those things that they see on social media are smoke screens. You understand? Smoke screens.
Make believe.
You understand? Smoke screen.
Yeah.
They see somebody, maybe some of the celebrities, so-called, some of the celebrities, so-called, that are as broke as anything.
Yes.
As broke as anything. Because they have to always appear. They have to always impress. They buy things, they live above their means. And then since they have become role model of all these people that like flashy stuffs, and then you see that individual, all his effort is to just become like that social, celebrity. I don't know if you're getting me.
Very well, yeah.
You become like that celebrity. You see young boys today, they keep all manner of hairstyles. I'm not advocating for whatever. You see them keep all manner of hairstyles. Sometimes I ask, are you in show business? Why some people just do that because of their business, to get traffic and the rest of them.
Yeah.
But some people now take it as their lifestyle. Take it as their lifestyle. I know an individual, I was in the neck of that individual. If I do more explanation, some of you will know what I'm talking about. Keep up a particular look which will not allow you to access opportunities.
True.
Because your appearance, the way you dress, that's how people will take you.
Yeah.
You understand? That's how people will take you. Some people, what they watch on movies, some skits, they just imbibe it, try to implement it in their life, not knowing how to differentiate between skits, makeup, and real life.
True.
Real life.
True. That's very true.
All right. I think we'll have a little break, and then we'll come back to you.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Patrick Anyanwu KSM Nwachinyere one of Mbise. My chief.
Thank you, sir.
All right. I want to ask you. How have you been able to manage your family? Considering your very busy schedule. I know your commitment in the place of work and church. How have you been able to put all of these together? And then what are the challenges that you face and how you were able to manage them so that our audience can also gain value? The Bible told us that a man born is of few days but filled with challenges, which means there are challenges in life. And then
thank you very much. If you call yourself a man, and what made you a man is your commitment to your family. And work or no work, but a man should make his family a priority.
Please, audience, take notes. He's coming from Chief Patrick Anyanwu. Watching your number one of Mbise. Your priority should be your family, if you call yourself a man. So until you have made your family your priority, you are not yet a man. Whether you are working or work is working you, you should ensure you make your family your priority. Whatever you are doing, nothing should deprive your family of you. Okay, go on.
Yeah,
Chief.
just like, fine, I have busy schedules here and there. But at the same time, I don't joke with my wife and my children. No matter what, I try, despite anything, I try to keep that close gap between us, because one, if anything happens in the family negatively, honestly, it will affect the society. So the best bet is one, like I said earlier, I live a life of emulation. So if I'm living that life of emulation, I should, like, for instance, like my order, I'm a Catholic. Knights of Semolumba. It is an order, a family order, a unique family order that you cannot even join if you are not happily married, living with your wife and your children happily. And because I found myself that, okay, fine, I am happy taking care of my family, living in one accord with them. That pushed me to say, okay, fine, let me still inspire people through that very means of order of Knight of Semolumba of the Catholic.
Okay, so what motivated you going into the knighthood was just because of your family?
No, because I want people to emulate, because normally I am happy with my family, but just to extend that, for people to emulate, for you to go out there, when you go for a meeting or you're sharing talk like this, people will watch you, people will see that, yes, wow, as young couples, people will definitely learn one or two things from the family. I try to build a loving family for people out there, especially those who are yet to marry. Before I got married, if I see husband and wife, young couples that always comes to church, I will just be telling myself, wow, God, please, when will it comes to my own turn that I will now be coming to church with my wife and my children? You know, I will always have it at the back of my mind. You know, there are some prayers that you pray in-depthly, you know. So with that, when it now comes to my own turn, I believe that people will also be watching and be emulating. You know, I know definitely very, very well that each time I go to church with my wife and my children, fine, people, you will see people, hey, this family, you know. So a family life worth enjoying and is highly
rush down home to be with my family, you know. So Patrick has hit it on the head, and there's nothing much more for me to say than, you know, to also reiterate that you know, for a man to keep, you know, his family, you know, he needs to prioritize his wife, needs to respect his wife and the children, you know, try you know, everything within his power to make sure that you know, they live in harmony, and of course in marriages, you know, the husband and wife, you know, there has to be, you know, a form of like fight not necessarily being physical, but, you know, marriage has its own issues too, but we tend to patch, you know, anytime there's a leakage, we tend to patch and, you know, keep striving. You don't, for instance, you don't throw your car because it has a fault. You need to repair it. You know, you need to repair it. So, you know, for people that you know, want to know how we keep our marriages, Patrick there's nothing more for me to say. Just these few add-ons that I just said.
There is a lot more.
And no,
okay. I'll get back to you. There's more. You know. More to say,
okay.
more to add.
Yes.
Like you mentioned, that you don't throw away your car.
Yes.
Because it is
faulty. Yes.
It is faulty.
That's an ambiguous statement.
But it's true. That's how it is.
Marriage is not just like relationship that you have with a car.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
If somebody can afford another one, a better car, the person may decide to abandon the car to go for something that is.
It also applies to. It also applies in some cases to marriages too, because for any man that feels he has you know, so much money to play, I don't want to mention names.
Okay.
He has enough money to play around with. He might decide to. He look at his wife and he feels this woman is washed out. Let me look for a sweet 16 or under 21 to get married to. So I don't want to agree with your notion.
No, what I said, you made mention
yes.
that you don't throw away your car
because it is faulty. Yes.
Now, it is that notion I want to correct.
Okay.
If somebody is equating marriage relationship with owning a car, if somebody has so much money, he may decide to go and buy another one. But when we come to marriage relationship, it's not something that is not expected. You do away with it because you don't feel comfortable with it. That is my point. Okay. I don't know if you're getting me.
I get you.
I'm not advocating that because you can afford a new car, you throw away the old one.
Yes.
Now bringing it to marriage relationship.
Okay.
When you're in, for me, my belief concerning marriage is when you're in, you just have to see to the end. That's what I believe about marriage. Okay. That's me. That's what I believe about marriage. You understand? Whatever you find in it, you just have to deal with it. For me, it's a school that you have been certified. You have been issued a certificate. So you have to finish that school. You understand? I think many of us, before we did our church, whatever, they gave us marriage certificate, right? You are just about entering the institution and they have awarded you a certificate. So it is incumbent in you to graduate. And it's either death, you understand, or rapture that will graduate you. It's not because you feel uncomfortable to the man and to the woman. There's a lot to talk about in marriage. We'll still come back to that. Let me hear you, Chief Patrick.
Yeah. You know, I think when you talk, people don't jump into marriage. You know, you don't jump into marriage. And when you talk of marriage, before it has processes before settling down finally. And I believe that along the line, you know, I just want to come into your statement. along the line, it is, you can't compare, my point, you can't compare car to marriage. Okay. As in, no matter wherever you are coming from, because, okay, to me, as far as Patrick is concerned, I know that before I got married to my wife, I certified her, and I now, okay, whichever way she was looking, then I now saw tomorrow that definitely, and today, wow, she is there to whichever way. Though in marriage, coming back to our social media virus, you see people in social media, husband and wife, doing as if
they are together.
They are very, very, as in they don't even have misunderstanding at all. No, because even in us, sometimes your teeth do beat your tongue. That is to say, even in marriage, along the line, definitely these are two different families that God brought together. There will always be misunderstanding, but that is why I said you must be a man for you to marry. You must be a man, because there should be tolerance from both parties. You can't call yourself a saint. Neither will she call herself a saint, as in a Mr. Right or Mrs. Right. No. So definitely, and it is, to me, I think I'm going to 8 years or so now. Fine, I'm still young in marriage, but I believe that marriage is kind of, it's more than academic word. It's a learning process. You keep going, probably till, I don't believe in nothing. I don't have that school of thought of divorce. It will never come in anywhere. As in, I've never given it a thought for a reason. Yeah. Marriage is a continuous, and I believe that before settling down with your wife, you must await various options that, okay, fine, she is the one, and no matter no matter the way everything comes up in the near future, it is you or she that can mend it and suit yourself in a better way.
Okay, can I also
You're free.
Okay, yeah. So, just to to state further, to clear out your own point and Patrick's point as well too. We see a lot of high rate of divorce these days. So are you saying, and most of the times, it's because of intolerance, by one of the parties. So are you saying if a couple is having issues, for instance,
okay,
I'm talking about the high, because one of the reasons of the high rate of divorce we have these days, it is because those couples can't amend their offenses.
Okay.
And that's why they resort to divorce. So I want to also stand, I want to still stand that in as much as marriage is an institution, let us be realistic. Okay. Let us not paint it as if it's all rosy and all that. I'm a realist. I like to be realistic. I want to reiterate further that marriage is like a vehicle. Okay. If you get spoiled, fix it. Forget about you, but I might also have so much money and decide to marry 3 more wives. If you want to put it in that direction, I might decide to get married to 3 more younger wives. Since if you have money, you can as well buy a new car since it is damaged. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay. I think let's look at the things that usually bring issues. There are certain things that causes issues in marriage. If marriages are having challenges, I think I'm a system analyst by training, right? You have to do a troubleshooting to know what is actually the cause of this thing. So issues don't just come, whether in marriage or anywhere.
Yes.
Many a times, I remember one of the podcasts we had, somebody asked a question that about 3 top things that usually bring issues in marriage. The top on that list is finance. For me. Number 2 is sex. Number 3 was kids. Number 4, in-laws. In-laws, extended family related issues. And then if we want to begin to dissect each of these points, you will discover that the problem we're talking about will fall into any of these 4. We can make it 5. There's a particular issue trending on social media and about a particular individual, the wife, and then when you do your analysis, you see that infidelity is there.
It's the number 1 cause now.
You see that infidelity is there, which is, you understand? So what normally leads to infidelity? Because if we can go to the roots, then I don't think we'll have most of these issues of divorce. If we can get to the roots, yes, it's good to be a realist. You know that when something is not working, you don't kill yourself. However, for marriage to work, one person must play the fool, or the two of them must. 2 wise people will never build a successful marriage. 2 wise people can never build a successful marriage. They will not build a successful marriage. One person must take the decision upon himself. Like, one of the things I told myself is that if my marriage didn't work, hold me responsible. If it didn't work, anytime, any day, hold me responsible. It is differences between I and my wife. We must sort it out. It is something that is personal. You understand? And then I also expect the woman, whoever, to also take that decision. The reason is because I've seen the impact of broken homes on children and the society, and I wouldn't want to contribute to the ills of the society. We know parents, people that ended up becoming single parents as a result of the death of their husband or death of their wife. That one is circumstance that is beyond their control. But the one that is as a matter of separation based on misunderstanding will always affect the psychology of those children. And many a times, children that came from broken homes that way, many a times it affects their own marriages later in life.
Yes.
And then now, knowing the impact is going to be on children, it is the responsibility of responsible adults not to propagate that same thing. You understand? No matter how difficult it is. Sometimes when you look at the argument that comes up in marriages, when you sit down to analyze, you discover that there are minor issues. Minor issues. And then the one you mentioned, the infidelity own. I don't know, depending on what they are looking for. And you know, even the issue of the infidelity or issue of sex is addictive also. That if one is not enough for you, 2 can never be enough. So if you want to get married to 3 more people, you will get married to another 7. So I don't think that is the solution. The best solution is...
No, I said the cause.
Okay.
The cause for the high rate of divorce we have today is infidelity. Yes, that's what I said.
Okay. So these issues can always be nipped on the bud. Now, to the people listening to us online, having multiple women in your life doesn't solve infidelity issue. That's my take. That's my view. That you have 5 wives in the house will not solve infidelity issue. It is all about yourself. It's about you. It's psychology. It is about who you are. As he thinketh, so is he. If you believe that one woman is enough for you, a woman will be enough for you. Yeah. You are married. You can have it anytime. If you want to go and have it in the moon, go and pay the price and have it in the moon. And many a times I observe the amount of money people even spend in their extramarital activities. They don't spend up to 20% of that in their main marriages. So if they should bring 20% extra of that thing that they are spending outside their home, inside their home, those issues will not be there. Many times it's not money issue. I don't know if you have anything to say.
Yeah, I just I believe I key in your school of thought that infidelity. If you think one person is not enough, believe you me, 20 persons won't even be enough. But I want to go out of, because one, it still bounce back on the topic of movement. So when you call yourself a man, you try to be a man. When you stop, you got married to this lady, and by our culture, we are meant to be taking care of them, looking after them. Believe you me, if you provide everything, at least let me say 70%, if our men are doing what they're supposed to do by providing 60-70% of our wives' needs, believe you me, the family will always be in peace, will always be together. Most of all these things is being caused by not providing the essential needs. You know, the society has made women to be dependent, secondary to us.
That's in Africa.
Yeah, that is in Africa, and we cannot change our culture. We cannot change our heritage, because most of the things that we do imbibe is even causing the effect, that is the effect of what we are experiencing present in this part of the world. You know, when we try to follow up on or learn other people's culture, it's really like, okay, when you look back in the days, most of our parents, as old as they are, is one man, one wife. So many of our parents down there in the village or elsewhere in this our part of the world, is one woman, one man, and they live for so many years. But here, you know, probably going back to social media, you will see this person dressing, living life of emulation. You not being contented is also part of it. So to me, finance.
All right.
Can I come?
You're free.
So let me play. I want to play the devil's advocate.
All right.
You know, I share a different school of thought.
Okay.
You know, because poor people do get married too.
Yes.
If it's finance, then if it's not about finance, and if finance is, you know, this is my own opinion.
Okay.
Yeah,
You
sure.
know, if finance is, you know, the issue, then bricklayers and Okada riders wouldn't be getting married in the first place, and newspaper vendors and you know, all these menial pay jobs. If it's finance, okay. Let me also from my own story. When I met my wife, I told her I wanted her to work. You know, because I was starting life and, you know, things were picking up little by little, you know, but I told her, you have to work, you know, and she agreed to work, you know. So I also have girls, as, you know, I have 3 girls, and I wouldn't want to bring my girls up in a way whereby they are fully dependent on a man. So the least I could do, you know, because I don't want to restrict myself to Africa. That's why I don't want to. Of course, we know our roots, but I want to you know, look at it from, you know, a global perspective. The least I can give my girls is to empower them before marriage. You know, so, and once they're empowered before marriage, like, you know, would you want to say finance would be their issue? No. You know, so I don't want to believe finance is also a factor.
Yeah, okay.
It's also a factor.
Okay.
It's also a factor. You know, but I don't want to believe that finance, you know, is the major factor. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, please. Help me.
Okay,
Let him come. Let him come.
All right.
Yes.
Fine,
Yes.
Mr. Emeka, like you made mention of bricklayers and
Okada riders,
menial
jobs.
Now, I said finance and to be contented, provide. You see, when you talk of to provide, there are some people that for you to provide or make them happy, you have to buy a skyscraper. That is that. There's some people that their own is when you are coming, you get a okoro, ugu from the farm. You know, that is their own. That is you come, you bring it, they will be happy and contented. You know, that is to say, man as per man needs to push up, go out there, try to make an ends meet, whichever level. You must have a level. You must have a level, and your wife that you got married to have to, or both of you, there should be level of to accept you the way you are. That's contempted, to be contempted. And by your wife should know maybe your level,
Of course.
in the society, the level you're operating. And if maybe your income is 5 naira and your wife expects you to be coming home with 10 naira for her, you know that will be a very big issue in family life. So that is to say, maybe your example where I'm coming from and where you're coming from is contrary, is different.
Okay, let me come in. When we say finance being an issue in marriage, we are not saying that it's personal opinion anyway. Yeah. It could be infidelity, it could be whatever. When we say finance, finance is not always how much they are bringing to the house.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if you're getting me. It's not always how much they're bringing in the house. Me, I know that marriage is a joint ticket. Whoever brings the fund is immaterial for me, but they need to have understanding.
Sure.
They need to have trust among themselves. Yeah. Whoever that is bringing the fund is immaterial, as long as they have understanding. As long as there is understanding and there is trust. Okay? But the challenge we used to have in marriages is this now. Young guy want to go and get married. Is borrowing where? Borrowing car. You understand? Toasting a woman in another man's house. Presenting false image that is not him. And then when the marriage is consummated, the woman discover that you've just scammed him. Many a times it used to cause problems. Yes. Then some people will make promises that they know they cannot keep. A Rolls Royce. And your earning is less than 200K. Definitely you are going to have an issue. Because you cannot maintain that Rolls Royce with that means you have. So if you don't check your income, like me, I'm an advocate of, if you want to get married, you should have a steady means.
Of course.
Do your projections. Whether you're a Okada rider, you're entitled to marry. But do your projections. I remember those days, I was looking for a house of 150,000 when I was about getting married. You understand? And then you should get somebody that will be willing to move into that house with you. Not somebody that will tell you, this house is too tight. That's when we talk about finance being an issue. This is where we are. But the person is telling you, no, we don't need to be here. We need to be so place. We should be living in duplex now. When you people don't have, it used to cause that issue. Many a times, the people want to help themselves. Maybe a particular cream somebody is using. The woman will want to, and it's vice versa. Vice versa. A man may not be doing much. Observe that the lady is doing very well. And now the lady has become his investment. You understand? And the lady will just be the one working and working and working and working. And the man will just be the one answering the head of the family. Now, Patrick wife know they work. Because Patrick wife know they work as it were.
Yes.
I'm not saying they work. You now say, my wife is not going to work. My wife is going to be full time. No. And I'm not I let him, you understand?
Yes.
If it is, hold on, if it is, if the person bringing the larger income is the woman, Oga, play the role in the house, take care of the children and take care of the house. That's me.
Yes.
You understand? But if they don't have this understanding, many a times a man will say, why will I stay in the house? And the woman will be the one bringing money for me. That's how finance used to cause problems.
Yes.
And if there is opportunity for a lady to go further in life in order to make better means, you see the man try to suppress her. Sure. It causes problem. That's when we're talking about finance.
In Africa, yes.
You understand? When we're talking about finance, that's why for me, it's number one. It's not about how much the man is making. You understand? Chief Pat, want to say something?
Yes. Like, I just want to, there's this happenings in the society presently. Like, I don't know why our men are mostly found in this category. That if your wife is doing so well, you will tend to just be in the house.
Okay.
No, you will just tend to
relax
relax.
and,
Yes.
allow to
In
happen.
fact, I have encountered so many, and before you could know it, the wife will be the one to report herself, and I'm no longer interested in this marriage. Do you get this?
Yeah.
As in, it is seriously happening so rampant in the present. In fact, I know of so many that I don't know how to place it. Is it that our men are now being lazy? You know, when if a woman is now the breadwinner doing so well in the family, then the men will fold their arms and become an errand boy in the house. Definitely there will be crisis in the family.
True.
If the man is supporting the woman with the housework, if the man is even supporting, do the school runs, do the market runs, I'm saying if the man is supporting, cook the food, and the woman is bringing the money, I will not say it is completely bad.
It is,
because hold on. It's nobody's job. Cooking food is nobody's job.
I know it's nobody's job, but it is. As far as if we are talking, let us look our context where we are coming from.
I think it's bad in Africa.
Okay, it's bad in Africa.
Look at where we're
not
coming
bad
from.
overseas.
That's-
Yes, it's bad here. It's bad.
When the wife, the friends started making gist of mockery of your husband, the man in the house. Before you could know it, we are human. And you come back one day in the house and you see a man that is a man doing this, doing that in the house, which is normally.
So let's direct. Maybe you are in the corner where Madam Nashi the hustle. Oga get up hustle. Chief Patrick is the one talking.
Seriously, man,
Get
please.
up hustle.
And stop being lazy.
And stop being lazy.
Do
Get
anything.
up
Be
and
a man.
hustle. Be a man.
Man of the
Women
house.
are delicate and they should be pampered. You understand?
Yeah.
And I know how some people are pampering their,
So,
Okay, you want to say something on this point? Okay, let me ask this question
Okay, go
again.
ahead,
In-law issues emanating from in-laws many a times also used to contribute to some of these things. So how do you have you had any? Okay, how do you think people should handle such things?
The thing is, when I got married, I had to, bring everybody on board.
Okay.
Yes, I had to bring everybody on board because I didn't want this division to occur, between, my own family and that of my wife. So I had to accommodate everybody as one. So from the onset, I instilled love, in both. I saw how they were going about their marriage, and I was just picking,
Some
one
lessons.
or two, things from their marriage. So when I got married, I had all the whole tools at my disposal. So I just had to unify both families, and we've not had any issue of animosity, since my 8 years of marriage.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow, 8 years. Wow.
Yes.
Pat, what do you have
Yeah.
to say concerning this?
Well, for me, I'm yet to have such encounter experience for now. Why? Because since I got married to my wife, we have been on our own. So anybody that comes only come and go. So we've not had. I'm yet to experience that in-law interference in my marriage till date. So I cannot say what I.
So
am
the
yet
key
to-
from yours is you've always been together.
Yes,
keeping
me
the
and my
extended
wife. Yes,
relatives
exactly.
from
We are
far
all in good terms. Everybody is free to come around. But with myself and my wife, we keep this very clean slate between in-laws from her own side and my own side. Anybody, we treat everybody how you bring in your own foods. So, and honestly, we've not really had any issues.
All right. There's a question from online.
Okay.
The person said Chief Patrick said something about it's been good to instill fear in your children. This person is asking, I want to ask if there is a good way to bring up a child. Talking about instilling fear. Okay, let me take the shot and then you can take up from me.
Okay.
I don't necessarily believe that it should be fear that we should just instill on the people, on the children. Because when we tend to put fear in these people, we will affect their mental health. Many times people feel less of themselves because of upbringing. I remember when you were making those, when we were talking initially on this podcast, I just know that upbringing many times used to affect the psychology of children growing up. If somebody came from a home where the parents always shout at him or at her, you see that person will have this low self-esteem, will not be able to express himself. Like you mentioned that you were able to go and see so person. Growing up, were they really shouting at you every now and again?
That is kind of it is a very strong disciplinarian.
Okay.
Yeah, so he doesn't used to yell, but he used to spank.
Okay.
He doesn't used to yell, or he used to whip us with the cane.
Okay.
Of course, children of my generation now, they used to whip us with the cane if we did anything wrong. So but the thing is, it's not about me having fear of my dad. It's about me, I've had this confidence rather, like from always, So I didn't grow up being afraid of my dad.
Okay.
Yes, he disciplines us, totally, but being afraid of maybe when he comes back from work, we'll start running and hiding so that he doesn't see us. No.
So fear is not the way. I'll get to you. Even the Bible specifically instructed that you should train up a child in the way he should go, right?
Yes.
Such that when he grows, he will not depart from it. But what I have observed that we do in this part of the world and so many other parts of the world is that we try to go against what the Bible prescribe, in the sense that we try to raise children in the way they should not go. I don't know if you are getting me. We try to raise children in the way they should not go. That is when you are trying to instill fear. Every now and again, what we pay attention to is what the child should not do, instead of what the child should do, the way the child should grow, the way the child should go. How do you want this child to go? If it is you want somebody to be truthful, you don't tell the person don't lie. Rather, you be telling the person always speak the truth. This is the importance of speaking the truth. And again, if you want somebody to have self-confidence, it's not giving them the opposite side. You understand? We use, how do I put it? We use terror. If you do this, this will happen, or don't do this,
or threats.
Don't do this. Threats, you understand?
Yes.
Or that's what we always children to the things we don't want them to do more than what we want them to do. I don't know if you get my view. The prescription is train up a child the way the child should go. For example, if there are basic skills or basic engagement that we should engage those children while they are growing up, these are the things we should instill in them. The time that a child should learn how to sit down in one place, between what age to what age? A time, if the discipline is not necessarily shouting. Discipline, maybe stay here. I don't know if you're getting me. Stay here. Teach a child how to stay here. Teach a child how to receive instruction, how to take instruction, how to accept instruction, and then how to speak the truth, and not necessarily train a child how he or she should not go. But you want to say something?
Yeah, I think to me, what's the question that was asked? I think instilling fear is to instill fear in a child is not to make the child be scared of his or her home. No. For instance, like a child, maybe your son or daughter, to say, okay, fine, please, I don't want to be seeing this glass cup on this center table. For instance, you will hear in some homes, you have said it, you have passed it, it's your law in the house. Law, to instill fear, as in make a standing law. It's my own angle of instilling fear, not for your child to be afraid of his or her home. No, not that. For instance, like if you